Hey guys, Dylan from the Geek Duo here, and today I'll be bringing you my reaction to Daredevil Season 3, Episode 13, titled A New Napkin. Matt's ready to cross the line, Fisk enacts his endgame. So, this is the end of the Netflix Daredevil era. We, got through the season, and turns out that the date being displayed on Disney Plus was the Australian day that it released, not the American day, like it usually is. They seem to have updated things, or I haven't really been paying attention, to show local time instead of their time. So when it said that it was coming out on the 5th, I thought, okay, that's likely the afternoon of the 5th in America, which is the 6th in the morning for me. No, it came out today. While I was at my appointment for my shoulder, the episode came out. So, yeah, I would have been releasing it tomorrow anyway, because Thursday's the Marvel Day, but, yeah, it's interesting. Anyway, this is the last episode. There's a lot that needs to be sorted out, like a lot more than I think we've got time for. So, let's see how well this wrapped up. Because I don't think this was the last of the Netflix Marvel shows. I think there were a couple others that continued on past the end of this season, but I'm not entirely sure about that. So let's get this started in 3, 2, 1, go. And of course, it decides this is one it's not going to play. I feel like if the deal didn't fall through between Marvel and Netflix, this very well could have been Arrow, or the equivalent. Is he gonna kill them? How did you get him? Also, was that a new shot of the kid or the shot from season 1? Because he didn't seem to have aged in the years that this was running. I wondered what was up with the flower. What about your mother? You cared about her more than yourself. Ah, that would fucking kill. Just casually sitting with his ankles crossed. Who's Julie? Hmm. He also got information that she's the one who, like, she's involved. Hmm. Interesting. So Matt's now going to know about Julie. Is that how the information's going to get to Dex? Like, is Matt going to slip it to the person who's been pretending to be him to, like, what, turn him against Fisk? Get, like, an ally in the infiltration? I could see that. Or possibly just have him work security and block other people from coming in. That one seems less likely. Oh, yeah, it did damage his leg. You shouldn't probably say that as. Will you, though? It's not that easy to weed out corruption. Well, it's better than nothing. Really, you're gonna besmirch his name in death? Oh, you're not even going with the suicide route. Interesting. I guess shooting yourself in the middle of the forehead isn't. But I do want Fisk dead. Yeah. Morally, it is. He'll become as bad as Frank. Because, I mean, we have had in the comics versions of Matt who have killed. I think in the Spider-Gwen universe, he's the leader of. He's basically the kingpin of that universe as Daredevil. I think that's the correct universe. Then set up a message of saying, "Hey, I'm going to this place." Hmm. That is a smart move. It's even smarter than I thought. I would have said message Mahoney, but where is she here? What is the play here? You've got monitoring device. Gonna grab my phone as I leave. She is smart, though she did say it's from Ray's video. Hmm. He stepped up to bigger things. Hmm. That got him. Hmm. Keep her name out your mouth. Interesting. Do you think they had him on a video call, or was it actually a recording of him? It's being very succinct in. You probably should have said while he was dressed in the fake Daredevil suit, but hmm, it do what he said, even down to calling him a monster. That would be why he looked up at the camera to notify that they knew he knew they were there. I didn't know that. I mean, it makes sense, but I wonder how much of that is what he said during his testimony to the special juries as well. Is Matt watching? Yep. Well, watching, I should say. Why would they just store her body? Like, wouldn't you think they'd dispose of it? Or is this just place with evidence of the crime? No, that looks like a kitchen freezer. Which side she in? Hmm. Multiple people in here. Is one of them the Am I supposed to recognize these people? I probably am meant to recognize them, but plus, given how much build-up is on those bags and the body, they've been here for a while. I want your help. Hmm. Problem is, Dex doesn't really care about collateral. Does Dex know Matt's Daredevil? Like, did Fisk make other people aware of that? He got the other crime lords. Hmm. Dex? Oh god, he took the body. I don't think Lim walked away. Hmm. I didn't know she had heterochromia. I've never heard it as and then you may. Like, I've never heard it shortened. Well, at least you didn't kill him. It was Hatley and I forget the other one's name. Of course, a hotel this swanky would have a ballroom, or at least a room large enough to act as a ballroom. It's putting a little sway in those hips. That doesn't seem like a very kingpin thing to do, putting some sway in his hips. I almost referenced the meme. You gotta put some swaz on it, Gromit. Yes, but not for. Don't drop someone else's phone. Hmm. Did he also name the other crime bosses who showed up at the meeting? Hmm. Why'd you just save him? I thought you were meant to be working together. Hmm. That is one of the biggest faults of Wilson Fisk. He does let anger overwhelm his intelligence. and kill her by throwing the gun. That fucking curved in the air. That went. Oops, knocked the mic. You out. Is there anything about the things around her wrists, like for the actress or that? Or is it purely because she's working at a computer all day? It's to stop like carpal tunnel and that. Hmm. Interesting him taking out the primal scream of rage that Wilson told Dex about. Oh! Punched a light fixture into his head. A lamp. I don't know why I said light fixture, it's a lamp. You out of the way. Oh! Some of Bullseye's hits are painful. I wonder if this suit that Wilson's wore to his wedding is also one of his bulletproof ones. Oh, the air that he moved with the force of that punch. And people question how he was able to rip a car door off. Okay, I'm going to say yes. He's is it is one of his resistant. Not even got a real glass light. That definitely confirms it as one of his protective ones. I wasn't really expecting a three-way brawl between Fisk, Daredevil, and Bullseye. And we still have had no explanation as to how Dex is able to do the things he is. I guess he's just naturally enhanced. Because I mean, like, all the other. Oh. Oh. All the other enhanced we'd seen up until this point were, had external factors. Like Luke, Jessica, Iron Fist, Madame Gao, the Hand, Matt. I don't know why he was the last one on the list, but all of them have had external factors. So how is Bullseye able to do the things he does? Ah, so that's how the blood gets on it. Or I come after her. Oh, he actually said he's got. Hmm. He brought her into the fold, and now she's complicit. We haven't really had it explained. If Fisk does go back to jail at the end of this, how how did he get out in time for um was he in jail during the blip? Because we know he didn't dust. Hmm. How is this going to work with the events of No Way Home? Not No Way Home, Born Again. Why did I think No Way Home? Hmm. He paralyzed Dex with that oh, she just got knocked out. Okay. When he slammed him against the pillar, I thought I heard something crack. I thought it was the pillar. No, he snapped Bullseye's spine. Why is she also getting arrested? I've already forgotten what Ray said in the message. He didn't know that Vanessa was the one who did the kill order on him. So, um, why did she also get arrested? Or did Dex squeal? One thing I haven't heard is whether Sister Maggie's gonna be coming back for Born Again. Considering Born Again was the comic run that introduced her. Mm, that's a fair point. They weren't spoken to God. They were spoken to the devil. You can only see that pattern once you're in heaven. Once you've crossed over to the other side. As someone whose parents both do cross stitching, I know what the back of a thing like that looks like. What, is she going to be your new confidant in the church? See Marcy, see Foggy, Karen, Allison, that Mahoney. Don't recognize anyone else. Is it Mahone or Mahoney? Because I've said both. I've been using them interchangeably. Is he going to adopt the title of Man Without Fear in this speech? There it is. Daredevil, the Man Without Fear. I don't know if that was the original tagline, but it was what he was, what he's been known as for ages. He's going back to working with Matt, isn't he? You got rid of the only thing that I was running on, so. And you also stood up for the reason that I stood against you, so. How did I know it was going to be Florida? Why is it always Florida with old people? Or their idiot son. You're really going to steal a blind man's drink? I mean, she was only doing it, um, because she was scared that Fisk would take her other kid. So finding a way out of that. Yeah, yeah. Because the idea of Nelson and Murdoch all came from a napkin. Nelson, Murdoch, and Page. He also probably heard what he was screeching. Yeah, they actually mentioned Jessica. I still can't believe they were originally going to do the revival without Foggy and Karen. Really? I'm assuming that is meant to be the equivalent of, like, Bullseye's insignia. Like, he's not going to get, like, the actual outfit with the massive bullseye on his forehead. It's just gonna be. I don't even know if that was something messing with his eyes or just reflecting. I don't know. When it said a new napkin, I was confused about the title. Then you had him talking with Marcy, and she's like, "The firm's gonna be happy to have you back." And then I remembered, oh yeah, um, he wrote the names on a napkin. I thought so. That cognium that they're infusing into his spine. Bullseye has had strips of adamantium fused to portions of his skeleton, including his spine. For all intents and purposes, it is virtually indestructible. Hence, Bullseye's adamantium-laced bones are virtually unbreakable. Now, I do have to ask a question. How is it that Bullseye has not died from adamantium poisoning? Because the only reason that Wolverine isn't killed by the adamantium in his body is because of his healing factor. And when that starts degrading, every time he starts dying because of the adamantium. So, how does Bullseye have adamantium laced bones as a person without a healing factor? Um, but yeah, I thought I'd heard something about him having um adamantium, and I figured, yeah, the cognium, because they wouldn't have the rights to adamantium, would have been the stand. Um, Interesting. I really was not expecting a one on one battle between Fisk, Daredevil, and Bullseye. Now, eventually, it did end the way it always was going to, on a 1v1 between Matt and Wilson. But, yeah, Matt ended up winning and put Fisk back in jail. I do have to question, though, what what happened between the end of this and Fisk showing up in the MCU? Because, like, we know he worked with Eleanor Bishop. We know he worked with Echo's father. Both of those were before the blip. No, they were before the Battle of New York. And well, we also know that at some point he gets out of prison and goes back to working as a crime boss with the way he was with Eleanor Bishop in Hawkeye. So, what happened? Did Vanessa get blipped and then he's like, okay, the deal's done, I'm breaking out of here, going back to how it was? What? Because ever since people came back from the blip, he's been free. And we know that Matt was active during the blip because he had that run in with Echo. So we know it's not on a case of, hey, everyone who's prosecuted this guy is gone. Let's falsify some evidence to say this was all a smear campaign. Get him out. So, I wonder if that's going to be explored in Born Again. Like, how Fisk got out. I do also have the question of why is the show called Born Again, when this season was basically this story. Normally, when they adopt a title directly into a movie, they're going to be tying events of the movie or show into the actual comics. Like, Age of Ultron was the Rise of Ultron. There was a lot of differences, but it was still the Rise of Ultron. Infinity War still ended with Thanos getting all of the Infinity Stone and snapping away half of all life. Secret Wars is going to tie into Secret Wars. Doomsday is actually going to tie into Time Runs Out, but it's going to be following Doom's story from that, I assume. I don't actually know about Doomsday. I assume it's going to be following that story, but could be something else. But for them to have Daredevil Born Again, yes, it in a meta sense it makes work. It makes sense because the show is being reborn, and another way to say reborn is born again. And also, you can be a born again. No, you're a born again Christian. You're not a born again Catholic. Never mind, ignore that bit. That's me mixing the two up. Can you be a born again Catholic? Um, yeah, I didn't think so. It's Christian. So never mind, ignore that. But I don't. I'm sure by the end of the season we're gonna figure out why it's called that. But they could have named it something else, like the actual run where Fisk goes for mayor and wins and creates the anti-vigilante laws that we're assuming he's going to be doing in the show, considering he's running for mayor and has had bad history with vigilantes. So, I don't know. But, like, everything to do with Sister Maggie is in this. Fisk confirming Matt's identity in this. It being somewhat tied to Karen in this. Matt and Karen reuniting in this. Like, so much of this season happened in this story. And yet, this season did not have the tagline of Born Again. But the new show is. I don't know what that's going to mean. I figure we're going to start finding out tomorrow, considering that's when I'm going to be reacting to the first episode. But, yeah, I don't know. Also, I've decided episode 2 is coming out next Tuesday. Normally, I wouldn't do this because it seems like afterwards it's just going to be the usual one episode a week schedule, but I'm sick of ending all my shows a week behind because they decide to do 2 episode premieres. I reckon they should go back to making shows that stand on their first episode alone, but that's not going to happen, so I need to change to match with the times. So, you get in first episode of Born Again tomorrow, you get in the second episode on Tuesday or 5 days later, because my Tuesday is not necessarily your Tuesday, though I think because I release them 4 p.m. my time, my Tuesday is your Tuesday. I'm speaking to American West Coast audience, because that's like the furthest you can get away from my time, unless you want to count the islands in between and a couple places in Russia. But yeah, so doing that, I'm sure by the end of the. How many episodes is Born Again? how many episodes in Daredevil Born Again? I know it was initially planned to be 9. So I'm sure by 8 weeks' time, when the finale's airing, we're gonna know why that show's called Born Again. But I am surprised. Oh yeah, another thing I didn't mention. Someone pretending to be Daredevil to besmirch Matt's credibility as Daredevil in this comic. But I know there was a big thing where this show, it didn't have taglines for its seasons because the first 2 seasons weren't necessarily pulling from comics. Like they pulled a little bit to mix it in with the MCU lore and to make the characters, but this show was like 1 for 2 with the story. I assume that's a saying, like 1 for 1 is beat for beat, so 1 for 2 is one for every other beat. So, but yeah, I don't know. I really enjoyed this season. I think personally it was elevated by me having known the comics. Unfortunately, there was no way going into the show, even when it was airing, that I wouldn't know some of the major events that were going to happen in this. Because I got that, I think, before season 1 even started. So, I'd already read that comic. I've only ever read it once. And the fact that I remember it beat for beat is... Well, I didn't remember it beat for beat. Beat every try beat. As I forgot the Russian was a part of it. I'm still... Yeah, that is one of the biggest things that I got wrong. Thinking they were going to bring the Russian... Not the Russian. The Russian's the Punisher one. Nuke. Nuke's the one. The one who takes the colored pills to, like, become a super soldier. That is one of the biggest things I got wrong in this. Where I thought he was going to come back. Because he was the one pretending to be Daredevil in the comics. No, they didn't bring him back. They may have actually killed him in Jessica Jones. I've already seen the first season of that. Jessica Jones, who I'm surprised they got a call out of in this. Will Simpson. He did die. I figured, considering there's been nothing about him. See. Hmm. Ah, interesting. Okay. Which episode was that? Because I may have actually seen that. I've gone off topic, but I think I may have actually seen that. Because if that's like right at the start of season 2, then I did know that. But that just makes it even dumber for me to think, oh, he might be coming back. Because he's dead. He's dead, Jim. Anyway, I'm going to end this one here. Because it's my bedtime. funny. I did one when I first got up this morning, and I'm doing one just before I go to bed today. That's just how it worked out with my appointment. So I will be back tomorrow with the first episode of Bored Again. And with that being said, I'll catch you in the next one.